Hello, everyone, and welcome to our professional development offering tonight. Today's professional development offering is on the topic of reflection, which is one of NYLC's 8 K-12 standards for quality service learning practice. At the end of this training, you will be able to explain the importance of reflection at all stages of the service learning process, give examples of individual reflection activities, and facilitate meaningful reflection with others. Today, we will be covering what reflection is and why we use it, some ideas for reflection you can do on your own, and some activities you can lead with groups of people. Let's get started. Reflection is essential to all learning, and it can be difficult to define. Essentially, reflection is the time spent purposefully reconsidering events to put facts and ideas into sequence, and eventually into a better understanding as to what happened during that specific event. Reflection is integrating learning and experience with personal growth and awareness. In other words, it's thinking about how the event connects to other aspects of your life. Reflection is a pause button that gives you the time to explore the impact of what you're learning and its effects on your thoughts and future actions. And finally, reflection is something that occurs before, during, and after service learning action. Now, some of you may have seen the IPART process, which looks like this. Reflection is listed as the 4th stage in the service learning process, and it is certainly important to reflect after the action stage of a service learning project. It's also important, however, to reflect before and during the action stage as well. If you reflect before, during, and after the action step, you can better understand how you were transformed through your experience. Now, why is reflection important? The process of reflecting has academic learning benefits, such as improved basic skills like reading and writing, better learning of subject matter because you have spent time in hands-on learning of that subject, higher level of thinking and problem solving because you spent time making connections within your learning, and learning to learn from experience, which is an important skill for a lifelong learner. Reflection also fosters personal development, as you become aware of changes within yourself as a result of the experience, develop a sense of community with the people around you, and begin to see yourself as an agent of change, taking charge of and understanding your own life. And finally, reflection helps improve the service experience on a programmatic level. As you reflect on this experience that you had, you're able to determine what went well and what could have been improved in the service learning relationship. Now that we understand the why behind reflection, let's explore the what. What does reflection look like? One of the ways that you reflect is on your own. Individual and internal reflection is important because it gives you a better understanding of yourself, of how you react to the world around you, and of the ways you have grown or could grow from an experience. Some examples of individual reflection include journaling, in which you record your thoughts, feelings, and observations throughout a service learning experience. Directed reading, or intentionally reading material that connects with your project. Drawing or painting, or otherwise artistically representing your thoughts. Writing an essay for other people to read that synthesizes your experience. Creating a tip sheet to pass on to later volunteers, for example, 10 rules for working with the elderly. Or presenting your experience formally to an audience. Keep in mind that reflection happens throughout the service learning experience, and that it's important to frequently check in with yourself about what you're learning. Another important aspect of service learning is group reflection. Meaningful service learning involves more than one person, so intrinsic to service learning is group work. We're going to go through 5 specific reflection activities that you can lead with a group. These are the Chalk Talk, the 3-2-1 activity, Choose a Photo, Freeze Frame, and a Day Cause. A Chalk Talk is a silent activity. As the facilitator, you develop a few reflection questions that pertain to your experience and write these on large pieces of butcher paper or flip chart. You then give participants time to walk around the room to each paper and write their own answers on the paper. Encourage participants to also respond to the things they see other people have written. At the end of the activity, you can hang these papers up and ask participants to identify things that stand out to them. Another reflection activity is 3-2-1. which is an individual written reflection. Give participants paper and pens and ask them to write down 3 things they learned, 2 ways they will use this information, and 1 question they still have. You can have participants share out with a larger group when they're done writing. For the Choose a Photo reflection, you choose 4 photos and print them out. These can be photos of nature, seasons, people, buildings, really whatever you want. Hang the 4 photos around the room and ask participants to stand next to the photo that represents the way they're feeling at that moment. After participants have chosen their spot, ask a few to share out to the large group why they chose that picture. Freeze frame is an excellent way to get people moving. Divide participants into smaller groups and ask the groups to come up with 5 words or phrases that summarize their experience. In addition, the groups develop 5 freeze frames with their bodies that represent those 5 words or phrases. Once groups are ready, have each group perform their 5 freeze frames, while one group member says the 5 words or phrases aloud to the larger group. Décause is a writing activity and great for participants who like poetry. Ask participants to write a poem that has 3 lines, with 2 syllables, 3 syllables, and 5 syllables respectively. This challenge asks participants to synthesize their learning into just 10 syllables. 10 syllables do not become a décause, however, until they are spoken aloud to another person. So ask participants to share their poems to the large group or to a partner near them. In leading reflection with a group of people, it's important to develop your reflection questions ahead of time. A good reflection question is one that is open-ended and urges participants to think deeper. Open-ended questions begin with how, why, or what, and require longer answers than just yes or no. A few examples of good reflection questions are, what happened today that surprised you and why? What are you looking forward to most during this experience? Or how have your actions or your opinions changed as a result of this experience? Also remember to make sure everyone's voice can be heard and to develop reflection activities that cater to all learning styles. It's good to reflect using writing, art, theater, and discussion in order to allow people to reflect using something they're good at, as well as push people out of their comfort zones to try something new. If you're interested in more information on reflection, please visit the reflection page of the LIFT at lift.nylc.org, or feel free to email me at hreece@nylc.org. Thank you for joining me today, and happy reflecting.